Oh, oh my god. I love it when they do that. That was so good. Hi everyone. Today I'm finally sitting down with Pink Pantheress' mixtape, Fancy That, and I'm so excited. I've been wanting to do this one for a long time. I love so much of her music, but I've somehow never actually sat down for like a full project of hers from top to bottom. I do want to get into all of her projects, but I figured Fancy That would be a good place to start because it was her last sort of full project other than like the remixed recordings that came afterwards. But yeah, I've heard a lot of her music. I've kind of just been like living off her singles, you know, like a raccoon in a dumpster. So I think it's time that I, you know, properly feed myself. Off of this album, I've already heard Tonight and Stateside. Tonight was actually like my most played song of the entire year on Spotify Wrapped. And that's what I mean when I say like I love her music. Even though I haven't heard an album of hers, I love her music. Illegal was hard to avoid. It was so viral on TikTok, so I've heard parts of that one. And she's actually nominated for a Grammy for that song, which, you know, congrats to her. And then off of her other projects, I've heard Attracted to You, Stateside with Zara Larsson, which is off the remix version of this, The Isle, Pain, and then obviously The Boy's a Liar, which was, I think, her biggest song today other than Illegal. If it's not clear, I've been in the process of moving out, so I actually have like a dedicated space where I can record. It's been a busy couple of weeks, so recording has been really tough. So a lot of the stuff that I've been posting on the channel, I either like did in my bedroom or I recorded like a long time ago. But yeah, because I chose this album because it's on the shorter side. Right now it's like 10 p.m., so it'll be easier to knock this one out, and then I'm hoping to get into some longer albums once I'm fully set up. Until we get to that point, thank you for like watching and stuff. My videos have been crap at this point, so I'm excited to sort of level it up a little bit. So yeah, thank you for watching even when it's shit. Before we get started, if you want to see more videos like this, make sure you subscribe, make sure you like the video because it'll get it onto other people's pages, which I would really appreciate. But other than that, let's get into the mixtape, Fancy That. All right, without further ado, let's get into track one, which is called Illegal. Again, it's a song that I've heard. It's been super viral on TikTok, but I've never actually like gone and listened to the whole thing. But yeah, let's get into it.
My name is Pink and I'm really glad to meet you. You're recommended to me by some people. Hey, is this illegal?
Classic, heard this one.
It feels illegal. I've saw it quite a few times with paranoia. Oh, I should name it, don't know what I should call you. Hey, here's 20 for you. Hey, we're getting higher around the corner. One after one, now you're sitting on my bed.
I'm glad that she's starting off with something that's like high energy. Her production is just so interesting. It's so like, I don't know, she sounds like nothing that I hear out right now. Ooh, I love how all like the stems are blending together. What a great way to introduce herself, like in a song at the beginning of the album. Is she screaming in the back? What was that? Oh my god. I'm hoping this is gonna be like a good, like, gym workout mixtape. Because this is a good pace. Oh, this eats so hard. Okay, wow. Okay, it kind of transitions into the next one. That's pretty cool. Okay, that was Illegal. I love that she opted for something that's high energy and like club ready. It drops you into the album really well. Sort of gets you ready for what's to come sound wise. And you know, knowing the songs that I do off this mixtape, you know, Tonight and Stateside, it feels like it's sort of gonna have like a consistent thread underneath it, which I'm really excited for. So I think it was a perfect way to introduce herself. I know it's like maybe a little bit like cheesy, but I love that like the intro is very much like, my name is Pink, it's very nice to meet you. It really is a formal introduction, and I always really appreciate when the intro really works as an intro for the project. Even for something like a mixtape where it's just like a collection of songs, I'm glad that sort of she's kept that kind of concept with it. It doesn't happen enough. Sometimes people will just put in an intro that doesn't introduce the project. It's just a song, but they'll call it an album. And I never like it when they do that. It's nice to see when an artist like is actually very intentional about a project that they're doing. So that's fantastic. Of the songs that I've heard and of what I've heard about this album, from what or this mixtape, from what I understand is sort of like a situationship night out kind of thing. This kind of introduces that premise as well, because it's her talking about how she has someone in her room. It starts as a conversation and then turns into a little bit more, and she's feeling kind of shameful. So I think that's also interesting too. If she wanted to, I feel like she could have called this an album, but whatever. The other thing I wanted to mention was that I love how she's able to make her music sound really like nostalgic of the 2000s and the 2010s, while also still sounding fresh and current. I can't really think of anything out that sounds like her. She's very much in her own lane. When you hear her song before she even speaks, I feel like you can tell it's a Pink song. So I do think that's really, really impressive that she's able to balance sampling and referencing and making a song sound nostalgic while also sort of, sprinkling something new on there. That's a tough balance to strike, and she does it really, really well. But yeah, I love that it transitioned into the next song. We are going to have to restart that next song just to make sure we're hearing it fresh. Or actually, maybe, you know what I'll do? I'll go back to Illegal. I'll do like the last 10 seconds, and then we'll transition into Girl Like Me just to fully hear that. But yeah, without further ado, this is track 2, Girl Like Me.
I'm not a fan of the way we're moving. No explanation for why we do this. You're right. Let's solve this over a drive-in movie. When you're not there, I smile up. I feel emotion.
I love her cute little like speaky moments. Those are so cute.
Why aren't you tired of the way you let it all go?
Oh. I feel like I've heard this song too on TikTok probably. Was the entire mixtape viral?
Never liked it when you do me like that. I never liked it when you do me like that. I never liked it when you do me like that. I never liked it when you let it all go. I'm not a fan of the way we're moving. No hesitation when I remove this. No to grab my home. I have things to take from. Days I think of staying up with you when clubs miss the bus home. Think of me, you can't pay for therapy. Nothing left to bleed, you spent all your currency.
Ooh, I love the electric guitar in the back. What a good addition that was. She loves a good little outro. That's nice. I wonder if it's going to transition again. Hold on. No, it doesn't transition. That is fine. Not every song has to transition. Okay. That was Girl Like Me. That was a cool song as well. I think I like Illegal a little bit more, but this was cool. She's continuing the thread of sort of nostalgic sounding, but also very, very current, very, very uppity in energy. I love her little like speak moments that she throws in there. They're very, very cute. She also has like a very sweet voice. So I loved when she did that. I loved that all the stems were kind of being blended together with like the Let It All Go and then her speaking over that or singing over that. So I think that was really cool. And I'm excited that it sort of flowed from Illegal. It would be interesting to go back and really read through the lyrics to see if like the situationship story flows from Illegal into Girl Like Me, but I don't know if that is what's happening, but that would be cool. When music transitions production wise, that's already one of my favorite things. For it to transition lyrically, like a 2-part song basically, that is even more impressive. And that would be cool considering how short the songs themselves are. It's like 2.5, you know what I mean? So I think it'll be cool to go back and really listen in on that and see the lyrics and see if it transitions in that way as well. But yeah, that was a fun track. We're gonna get into track 3, which is called Tonight. It's a song I've heard. It was my most listened on Spotify Wrapped. Great song. Yeah, let's get into it. Oh, this song is so good. Her melodies in the song are especially like excellent. I had no idea what she was singing this part though. Ooh, okay. She's hooking up with someone famous. That's kind of cool. I don't know if it's cool, but it's always interesting to hear about. That melody right there was stuck in my head for the longest time. And then also the post-chorus that comes after this. This part right here. Ooh, goes so hard. Oh. You know, when people talk about like musical recession indicators, this is what I think of. Because honestly, it's so hard to find things to say when the music is this good. I could just disappear in this. It's a mood lifter too. How many hours can we stay in? I love her speaking moments. I've said that already, but I love that she does that. I'm telling you, the melodies are so addicting. I also love how bold she is in the song lyrically. Of just like being like, you like me? Come get it, you know? It's very like Olivia Dean. And that's the only comparison I can make between her and Olivia Dean at this point. Love the bassy, like, lower harmony on this. I don't know if it's a low harmony. I think it's just one octave down. Let's see if it transitions. It does. Sick. I'm glad she's doing that. Okay. More songs need to transition like that. I feel like it doesn't happen enough. There are specific artists who do it a lot, and I love that, but I want to see more artists having their songs transition into each other, because having them be so intentional about what song goes after which song is just so special. It adds an extra detail. I love that. So I need to see more people doing that. But yeah, that was track 3. That was Tonight. Again, like I said, number 1 on my Spotify Wrapped. One of my favorite songs of the year. Just impeccable pop music. It's so, so good. The melodies are so incredibly infectious. She's continuing the situationship theme, which I think is great. I like that she's sort of keeping that consistent throughout this. But yeah, not much more to say on this one. It's just one of my favorite songs of the year. It's such a good pop song. And honestly, I would have expected it to be bigger. Oh, the only other thing I can say is I noticed that it shows the music video on the side in Spotify, and I noticed that like she has like that plaid that people kind of like ascribe to her. I feel like she wears it a lot. Why is that her, like, texture? How did that land on Pink? Because I don't feel like it doesn't match her music. I'd be interested in knowing, and like, why plaid? And not that I mind it. I love good artist branding. And whenever I see plaid, I do think of Pink Pantheress. But I want to know, like, what's the... What? What? That's... Yeah, like, what? That's my question. Anyways, sorry, that's like the least eloquent thing I've said today. We're going to move on to track 4. Track 4 I've not heard. It's called Stars. Yeah, really glad that it transitions. Oh, shit. Oh my god. Oh, that's a sample. That's definitely a sample. I can't remember where from. I'll have to look it up. Oh, this is so good too. This is like Tonight's Little Sister. Ooh, this eats. This is definitely a sample. Okay, cute little run. Ooh. Trying to figure out like what's happening in the song. Drugs? Is that what that was? Another really short one. Yeah, they're all super short. Oh, it's cool. It's like jumping from ear to ear. I love that. It's very spacey, which I was hoping it'd be. Oh, and it perfectly transitions into the intermission. That's cool. It's like studio voice notes that she's mixing in. Whoa. Okay, that was impressive. We'll talk about the song first. All right, so that was track 4, Stars. Fantastic song. I felt like it was very similar to Tonight in its patterns a little bit. There was, first of all, the melodies again were so good, very infectious, very addicting. And then I feel like it was her delivery maybe that was kind of similar. So it felt like Tonight's Little Sister, not in a bad way. It didn't feel like the music was getting repetitive at all, even though this was back to back. The songs are so short that honestly getting a revisit to that kind of pattern is really nice actually. It's done well. So I appreciated that. I wasn't sure what she was talking about. At one point it seems like she's talking about dealing drugs, but then at another point, and then she was talking about how the dude's thinking about someone else. I was like, okay, she's fucking with a bisexual dude. I don't know. I couldn't really tell exactly what this was about. It was very spacey, which was cool, especially towards the end. I loved that they had mastered it so that it was in one year, like sort of bouncing back and forth. That was really cool. And then it transitioned into the next song. I love it. I love it when they do that. That was so good. So yeah, it transitioned into track 5, which was called Intermission, which was a cute little interlude. It felt like it was like very much it meant to be like a palate cleanser. It was kind of some voice notes from the studio talking about adding in more drums, and I liked that when the first time they said that they added in more drums, so that was cool. and then you hear Pink talking about like switching it up, and then the sound changes to like a completely different kind of synth, and then that transitioned immediately into the next song, track 6, which is Noises. So happy she does that again. I'm glad that she's made this a mixtape, because I think when people talk about mixtape versus talk about albums, they act like less thought went into the album because the album has or so less thought went into the mixtape because the album has like a central theme and this, that. Whereas a mixtape is considered to just be a collection of really good songs, right? But I feel like she still has honored the concept of a mixtape really, really well. There's still so much thought put into how the songs are ordered, what they're talking about, so that even if there isn't some like central core or deep messaging you're sending or whatever, right? It's still a very, very well done, well thought mixtape. It's very intentional. The details that she's going into are incredible. It's not lazy. And maybe that was my perception of mixtapes. Maybe when I say people talk about mixtapes being so-and-so, maybe that's my perception of what mixtapes are. This changes that, because this is just as thought out and well done as the best of albums that I've heard. So props to her for that, and it definitely changes my perception of mixtapes. So I know that the next time I hear a mixtape, I'll definitely, I guess, give them the respect that they deserve because of this. And I know there's other fantastic mixtapes out there. Alligator Bites Never Healed by Doechii is an example. But yeah, I just wanted to make sure I said that. I think maybe I have that bias against mixtapes, and this definitely goes against that. But yeah, other than that, Stars was a great song. It samples Just Jack's debut single in 2007, which is called Stars in Their Eyes. To be honest, I feel like where I heard that was like, my brain keeps bringing me back to like, did you guys ever play like Xbox Connect Soccer? Or like maybe it was FIFA. I don't know. Some sort of Xbox sports game I feel like had this song. No, I feel like it was Connect Sports. It had to be Connect Sports. Between playing games, it like plays different songs. Or like if you score a goal, I feel like I heard it play that song, which I know is a very weird way to remember a song. But that's just what that's reminding me of, and I hope that I'm not alone in that. I hope someone else knows what I'm talking about. But yeah, great song. Love that it transitioned into track 5, which was Intermission, which was the interlude. I like that the interlude sort of served as like a great palate cleanser, and then it transitioned into the next song. Very much a 2-act mixtape, which is always exciting. Yeah, let's move into the next track, which is track 6. It's called Noises. See, like perfectly, seamlessly transitioned in. That's excellent. So glad that they did that. Oh my god. Oh. What did you talk about? Okay, another sample, I'm guessing. What'd you talk about the first one? Masturbation? That's what it seemed like. Am I wrong about that? It'd be wild if I was that wrong about it. Or maybe he's drunk or something. Oh, I think it is drugs or something. A lot of paranoia.
What the fuck is that?
Man, this is so short. 1 minute 44 seconds. I know that Pink Pantheress has received flack for that too, of being like, oh, songs don't have to be under 2 minutes, which is like, or sorry, over 2 minutes, that's incredibly short. That's so unbelievably short. But whatever, it's her artistry. Okay, that one did not transition, but again, not every song has to. Yeah, that was Noises. It was a little bit more like anxious sounding from the get-go. The production was like very distracting, which I assume was on purpose. I will say her enunciation kind of blends in with the production in a way where it's hard to tell what she's saying. Another example on this mixtape of that, in my opinion, is the song Tonight. Was it Tonight or was it? I think it was Tonight. I think some of the lyrics at the beginning of Tonight, when I sing along to it, I'm just giving gibberish. You know, it's just Simlish at that point. So I think this also had a little bit of that, where if I didn't have the lyrics open, I wouldn't necessarily know what this was saying. Not a huge problem. It's fine. The music's still very, very enjoyable. I know that other people might have a problem with that. But yeah, it seems like it's like a very overstimulating song. It seems like she herself is kind of battling paranoia throughout. So maybe it's a song about drugs. I thought it was about masturbation for a second, but I think it's just about like paranoia and stuff like that. But I do really, really appreciate that the lyrical content or what she's talking about is matching the production. Again, it just shows just how well thought out these are. This song does feel a little bit more experimental than some of the other ones did. Again, because of the nature of it sounding sort of anxious and chaotic. Like it was very like glitchy drums, chopped vocals. I did really, really like that. So overall, I don't think it's my favorite song just because it is so short. It's hard to enjoy it in my opinion. It's hard to really like sink my teeth into it. But it is a good song. It was more experimental. I like that she changed up the sound a little bit, like she said she would in the intermission. But yeah, good song. All right, let's keep moving. Let's get into track 7, which is called Nice to Know You. I think this is one of the longer tracks. Okay, this is the situationship going wrong. Oh. Is that her? That has to be a sample. Is that her singing? That can't be her, right? I think it's a sample. There she is. Emotionally unavailable. Oh, I love this part. Wow. Ooh, I like this one. And I'm glad it's longer. She needed to sit in this pocket for a little bit. This is good. She's loving her like long instrumental outros though, which makes sense. She's a very serious producer, so I think it's cool that she sort of flexes a little bit at the end here. Alright, it did not transition, but that is fine. But yeah, that was track 7, Nice to Know You. This kind of seems like it was the fallout of everything we've heard so far. You know, she has followed this trajectory of like meeting someone, hooking up with them and feeling a little ashamed, continuing to see them, then experiencing paranoia as she did in the last song, and then now in this song it feels like she is very much saying like, hey, like, it was nice to know you, enjoyed this, but it seems like they were very like emotionally unavailable. So it's like time for her to move on. She's not happy about it. Basically, like it is sort of the fallout of the relationship. So again, really impressive that the mixtape is sort of following that lyrical progression in terms of really telling a story. So that's fantastic. Let me see what that sample was. Okay, so it looks like the sample was William Orbit's 2006 song called Spiral featuring Sugar Babes and Kenna, which I assume were the female voices on there. A lot of 2000s references, sorry. A lot of 2000 references on this mixtape, which is, again, fantastic. It's very rooted in her sound. You can really hear it. And I do love that I mentioned this before, but she is tapping into that nostalgia without just, like, having the entire song right on that. There's a lot of artists that I feel like do that. Sorry if there's Ava Max fans out there, but that's what I think of her music, where it feels like she'll pick a sample, but it'll be so, like, just thrown in there that, like, the melody or whatever part of it that she's using is just so immediately identifiable that it takes you out of the song. In this case, I didn't really find that to be the case. I think the sample was really well used. I will say that when it comes to Pink and her continued, like, auto-tune sounding vocals that she always puts, like, the pitch correct on there, it makes it so that the day she comes out with a song, or if there's a song she's already made like this, the day she has a song where it's just her, like, raw voice, I feel like I maybe wouldn't even be able to recognize her, because I felt like I had to ask myself that question. I almost was doubting whether that was a sample or not. When that came on, I was like, is that just what she sounds like without the pitch correct? It's possible. There came a point where I was pretty confident it was a sample, but I didn't want to be wrong. So I was like, ooh, I don't even know if I'm going to leave that in the video. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't sure. So I think the moment I hear a song of hers where it's just her singing without effects, it'll be interesting to see whether I can clock it immediately and know that it's her or not. It's very much like wearing a mask, you know, which I think is actually really cool. I do like that she keeps that consistent symbol. Again, it's very good, like, artist branding. You hear the auto-tune, you know who it is. So that's fantastic. But yeah, I loved that song. That was great. All right, the next song is a song we've heard. It's called Stateside. Great song. I haven't really read into the lyrics, even though I've listened to the song a lot, so it'll be interesting to see if there is lyrical progression here, if there's something she moves on to. From what I understand, I feel like she's moving on to someone else, specifically an American boy, hence Stateside. But yeah, let's get into it.
Outside, I feel my skin tight. My coat is inside, but I look up at you. I tracked your plane ride, the one you're in tonight. Tell me, when is the next time I'll run into you? It sounds insane, right? I'll take the same ride. Wait at
Oh, the vocals in the back are interesting. I like the... It sounds like she's, like, talking, uttering something.
Tell me, how did a girl like me get into you? You can be my American.
I did not know she was saying hot. I thought she was just going ha, 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 ha. I don't know if that's real, you know? Cool. Love this part. Again, yeah, I'm so thrown by her saying hot, hot. I did not know that was the lyrics. I will say the remix to this song is, like, somehow even better than this.
I'm freezing outside. I feel my skin tight. My coat is inside, but I look up at you. I tracked your plane ride.
It is a different kind of rich. The way people are able to, like, fly to their situationships. Love this breakdown after this. I feel like there's a sample in the back here, too. I don't think this song transitions. We'll find out. All right, that was Stateside. Again, it's a song I've heard. It's a song I enjoy. Somehow, I feel like the Zara Larsson remix that came after this is even better, and she was the perfect person to put on it, so that's cool. Yeah, I think it's a very unrelatable song because I can't imagine having so much money that you're flying to your situationships. That is crazy, but good for her for finding an American boy. That's great. But yeah, I do like the song. I think it's a little bit more like hypnotic, especially with her going in the background. The way it like echoes, the way they've mastered it, it makes it very, very dreamy, which is cool. So her vocal delivery there was just fantastic. This song also does feel a little bit more standalone. Before, some of the songs felt like they were following a lyrical trajectory, telling a story. This doesn't feel like it fully fits into a story, but again, it's a mixtape, so I think that's fine. This does feel like a standalone single, which it was. So that in that case, it's well placed, I'd say. But yeah, this song, it always reminds me that there's the remixed recording of Fancy that has like a bunch of different artists on it. So I think I'm excited to listen to that too. But yeah, that was track 8. That was great. We're going to move on to track 9, which is the closer to the album. It's called Romeo. I feel like I might have heard a snippet of this on TikTok or something. But without further ado, let's get into it. Ooh, I already like the sound of this one. It sounds more R&B, honestly. She loves the talking lines. Ooh. What was step tonight? What was step 2? Oh, she's found someone. Okay, that's nice. But I want to know what step 2 was. Okay. Ah, bisexual boy, I was right. Oh, I'm really liking this one. I know I'm not saying anything, but I'm liking this one. Ooh, I love the voice she has in the back. I love that those like male voices, they play really well with hers. Ooh. Oh, that was excellent. That was so good. I love people clapping in the back. That's cool. Almost feels like the end of a concert, you know? Or like the end of performing a song. All right, so that was Romeo. It was an interesting one. It kind of touched back on the situation part of it. It did bring back the bisexual guy. I heard him in there. So yeah, it stayed on that sort of current thread of situationships, which is interesting. She said, we're talking about like the rules and gave us step 1 and then step 2 was incomplete. That bugged me. I wanted to hear what step 2 was. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I didn't read the lyrics enough. But I'm pretty sure she's like, step 1, don't let yourself fall in love because that isn't fun. Step 2, does that mean that, oh, you know what? Maybe that's what I'm getting wrong. Maybe it's like she was trying to give the rules and then she failed to even follow the first one. It was like step 2, oh shoot, and like interrupts herself by falling in love. Maybe that's what it is. In that case, it's very cool. But I got bothered because I was like, I wanted to hear the rest of that. What was it? It does almost feel like it kind of loops back to illegal in a way, conceptually, because now she's talking about like meeting someone else, having it feel illegal or weird, didn't want to fall in love, but now she's falling in love. So I think that it does kind of feel like it goes in a loop, which I hope that was intentional. If it is, again, very, very cool. Yeah, and with that, I think we can transition to talking about the mixtape as a full. Overall, I really did like it. I think it's a very concise, very small, but well packaged set of songs about situationships. I think she touches on a lot of very different themes. It was really cool to see her bring in like the insecurity and the paranoia sort of associated with it, and then showing what the fallout feels like emotionally. And she was able to do that again very concisely, because this is like a 20-minute project. So being able to touch on all those themes, carry a consistent story, that is very impressive. I love the more experimental tracks of her sort of changing it up on the production, allowing the production to showcase some of the emotions rather than that being carried by like vocal delivery or lyrical content. The production really matched the emotion of the songs, sort of showcasing like the anxiety that she's feeling by making it a little more chaotic. I thought that was incredible use of production in it. Knowing how involved she is with the production of these songs, I think that in itself just shows how talented she is. I said this earlier, but it also does sort of change my perception on what a mixtape is, because I would agree that this isn't an album with a central concept to it, but it's still very well thought out. It's still very detailed. I think, especially when it comes to the production is more detailed and intentional than a lot of the best albums that I've heard. I loved that a lot of the songs transitioned into each other, especially that like row of 3 that she had, which was, I think it was Stars, and then it was the Intermission, and then it was Noises. Having that progress production-wise into each other was incredible. And again, I've said this, I sound like a broken record, but it just shows how intentional she was with the production and how detailed and thought out it is. So fantastic, well done, great project. Devastatingly short, I would say. I think it would be very cool to hear Pink Pantheress put out like a longer album. I know that's a lot of the criticisms that she gets, that her songs are like super short, and they are. How are so many of these songs under 2 minutes? That's crazy. That's so crazy to me. It's just not something I'm used to, I think. So I think that would be the only thing I would knock about this. Other than that, everything was perfect. She balances nostalgia and sort of current sounds so well, has turned it into her own sound. She's incredibly identifiable when it comes to sort of the colors that she chooses for her songs, the sounds and stuff. So that's incredibly well done. Her branding is on point in that regard, and she just sounds like no one else I'm hearing right now. As someone who like loves singing as well, I never would have expected that I'd be so into an artist who uses pitch correct so heavily, but I think it matches her voice really well. This sort of like sweet, sickly sweet voice that she has, it matches really well with the use of the pitch correct and the very eclectic sort of synthy, nostalgia rooted production that she has. Sorry, excuse me. But yeah, that sneeze kind of cut off my thinking, but I think that I've also just said enough on this. You know, similarly to how short the mixtape is, I guess my analysis of it is going to be pretty short too. But yeah, again, it's just way more cohesive than I expected. So kudos to her. Love the lean-ins to UK dance, y2k nostalgia, club culture. Yet still, I feel like other artists have done that, and yet this feels still so specific to her. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the reaction. Hope you enjoyed the mixtape. Please drop down below what your favorite tracks off of Fancy That are. Also, if someone could help me out in understanding what the plaid thing is, I would very, very greatly appreciate that. Just wanted to reiterate that here. And yeah, let me know if there's any other projects you'd want me to check out. If you enjoyed the reaction, make sure you like it so it lands on other people's feeds. Make sure you subscribe, all of that stuff. Again, the videos are going to hopefully get better. I am very, very happy about moving. Yeah. In the meantime, thank you for watching, and have a good night. Bye.